Hello, I'm Nana Wrinklewings and welcome to Whimsical Rhymes and Tales. Today I'm going to tell you a story that's called The Magic Saddles. You see, there were two children and they were on a scavenger hunt and they come across this abandoned building. And in this building they find something very magical. So you're going to need your big imagination because it's really not true. It's all made up. It's all in my imagination. But if you're ready, we're going to go on an adventure. I have on my imagination cap. You're welcome to grab one and join right in with me. So let's get started. As legend has it, years ago in Ireland, where the land bends down to the sea, and the heavy mist hovers over the ferns and the wildflowers, there once was a magical carousel in an old abandoned building at the edge of a park. Well, sadly, the carousel was broken and it hadn't been ridden for years. The animals of the carousel, they were dusty with age. So one summer day, a group of friends set out on a scavenger hunt. Well, Erin and her friend Billy, who were at a birthday party, hurried off to find all the treasures that were on their paper. Carefully, they read each of the clues as they searched for the hidden items. Unexpectedly, they found themselves in front of a rickety old building at the edge of a park. Looking at each other in question, they hesitated before entering. "Oh, I don't think that we should go in, Billy," Erin said. "But the paper said that we would find something red and round in an old building," Billy answered. "Come on." Well, they held hands and they took a few more steps and soon they were inside. Their eyes were glued to the dimly lit path in front of them as the light spilled out through the boarded-up windows. Startled, they stopped suddenly because right before them was a huge old carousel. They couldn't believe their eyes. They began to brush the dirt from the painted horses, and they discovered a giraffe and a lion, a tiger, a swan, a pig, and a zebra, right along with all the horses. "Look, Billy, there's even a unicorn," Erin said excitedly. "Do you think this carousel still runs?" asked Billy. "Oh, I don't think so," Erin answered. It'd be the fair if it worked, right?" "No, you're probably right. But what if?" So Billy, he jumps onto the platform and he ran to the center of the carousel. He pulled on the lever as hard as he could, but it wouldn't budge. "Oh, well, let's just pretend," said Erin as she mounted and straddled the golden palomino. Grabbing the leather reins, she clicked her heels into the stirrups. Well, Billy, he jumped on the lion and he pretended that he was growling and was the king of the jungle. "The party, I think we need to get back. Everyone will wonder where we are," Erin said. She reluctantly dismounted her horse and they went back to the party. Well, after the party, they returned to the old building. They were excited to see all the carousel animals once more. It was like finding buried treasure. But as they approached the carousel, a horse neighed and a pig squealed. Well, they nearly jumped out of their skin. They're live animals in here, Billy. I think we should leave." Just then a lion roared and they both ran for the door. "What was that?" Erin asked. I'm not sure," said Billy. They watched, and the animals, suddenly began to move about, and their eyes were blinking and their tails were wagging. Two friends stood in shock. "Maybe you were right, Erin. We should leave," said Billy. But strangely enough, Erin walked cautiously towards the carousel. "Oh, it's all right," she said as she tried to calm the animals. "We're your friends." The animals seemed to calm down some as she approached them. "Come on, Billy, I think they like us." Well, Billy and Erin looked around in amazement as all the animals started to talk. "You can talk?" Billy asked in wonder. "Well, of course we can talk," roared the lion. "Wow, I didn't know carousel animals could talk," Billy continued. "Well, we're a little special because we have a unicorn on our carousel," said the golden palomino. Just then they noticed the white unicorn as a tear fell from her eye. "You look so sad," Erin said as she began to stroke the long white mane of the unicorn. "What's wrong?" "I've been hiding here for years on this carousel," the unicorn answered. "Hiding?" Erin asked in wonder. "Yes," she answered as she looked into Erin's eyes. "I'm the last unicorn with the power to live forever, and I was able to hide from the wizard right here on this carousel. He would love to have my power. I was safe here during the day, and I would leave during the night and protect the other unicorns. But because the carousel no longer runs, I can't free myself from it. I just hope they're all right," the unicorn said. "So you can live forever?" Erin asked. "Yes," said the unicorn. "It was written in the wind thousands of years ago. The power is in my horn." "So why would a carousel be in a building? I don't understand. Why wouldn't it be at the fair?" they asked. "Well, this building, it used to be a museum, and there used to be many things here for kids to enjoy. But when the carousel stopped working, people stopped coming to visit," the tiger said sadly. "So maybe we can make the carousel run again," Billy said. "Oh, it's not possible," said the golden palomino. "But I really wish I could help you," said Billy. "Well, we all wish you could help us, but I guess wishes don't always come true," said the golden palomino. "That's right," said the swan. "I always wish that I could be like the other animals and move up and down so the children could ride on me. Instead, I just feel like I'm just a seat and they sit on me, and that's really not too much fun." Well, the blue stallion spoke up. "I wish I sparkled like the golden palomino. Everyone likes her. They like to ride on her, and they choose her all the time. Who ever heard of a plain blue horse, anyway?" Well, the tiger spoke up next. "I want to roar and be the king of the jungle," he declared. "Well, that will never happen," said the lion. I wish I had wings to fly," said the pig. "Now that would be funny," said the giraffe. "I wish I was shorter because my head always scrapes on the top of the carousel. It hurts." "Well, I wish I could whisper," roared the lion. "I think I scare people when they hear me, and I really don't mean to do that." "I wish I had colored stripes," said the zebra. "I've always wanted to be different." "I just want to go home and be free again," said the unicorn. "Well, I used to wish that one day the children would come to ride on us again," said the golden palomino. "But I think we all stopped believing when nobody came." I'm sorry. I'm sure that's because this carousel stopped working, and that's not your fault. But maybe I can help make that happen again, Billy said. I can understand your giving up when children stopped coming to ride on you, Erin replied as she stroked the golden palomino's mane. I'm sure that made you very sad. But you shouldn't give up. You need to believe that the children will come and ride again. It's hard to believe again. We've been here for so long, roared the lion. You can't give up, said Erin. But there are things that are needed to make this carousel run again, and we just don't have them, the lion replied. What kind of things? Maybe Billy and I can find them, Erin said. What are they? Oh, it's too difficult, roared the lion. A magician at the carnival once told us what was needed, but a magician told you how to make this run again? Really? Just tell us, Billy said. What did he say? Oh, okay, if you really insist, but it's impossible, the lion continued. You see, first, you have to believe that you can do it. And then there's this whole thing about a shark's tooth. A shark's tooth? Really? I guess I see what you mean, said Erin. Go on, said Billy. Well, you need 4-leaf clovers, and you need horseshoe, and blooming red roses with thorns, a shark's tooth, and water from the sea. I told you it was impossible. That's a lot, said Erin. Well, we have to go, Erin, Billy said. We have a lot of things to find. Erin turned to the unicorn. Don't worry. We'll be back, and we'll find everything that the magician told you. She kissed the white mane. And you'll be able to go home again, I promise. She left with Billy. Well, the next day, they spent searching the emerald green grasses for 4-leaf clovers. In a field of shamrocks, it was difficult to find one with 4 leaves because most had only 3. After hours and hours of unending hunting, Erin plucked one from the grass. Yes, Billy, I've got one! She screamed so loud that the birds perched on the fence nearby took to the air in a flutter. Well, the following day, they set out on their long walk to the sea. Do you think we'll be able to find a shark's tooth, Billy? I don't know, but we can ask someone at the lighthouse, Billy answered. They carefully filled the jar with water from the sea, and they ascended the winding stairway of the lighthouse. Well, you're a long way from home, said Captain Jake. What brings you to the seaside? We need to find a shark's tooth, Billy explained. It's important. Have you seen any sharks? Oh my, what an ambitious task for such a wee lad. You're not planning on pulling out one of those teeth from a shark, are you? Captain Jake joked. No, I guess not, said Billy as he hung his head. Well, I do think you're having a bit of luck today, said Captain Jake. I've collected a few over the years. Come see. Wow. Erin's eyes got big as she looked at the glass jar that was filled with shark's teeth. Could we trade you for the conch shell that we just found on the beach? It's pretty big, asked Billy. Captain Jake was quiet as he squinted his gray-blue eyes. A frown furled across his brow beneath his black sailor cap as he thought. So this shark's tooth is pretty important to you, eh? Yes, sir, Erin said politely. Well, you know, he answered, I've always wanted a large conch shell. I could set it right here on my desk. Let me think a minute. Sure, why not? You've got a deal, he said. Oh, thank you, Captain Jake, Billy said as he handed him his prize conch shell. Here you go, kids. Pick one out. Now be careful. It's a shark's tooth, you know. So Billy reached in the jar and he carefully took out a jagged tooth. Look, Erin. Ew, she explained. You carry it. Well, Captain Jake smiled as Billy put it carefully into his pocket and they ran down the stairs. So what's left on the list, Billy? Erin asked. Well, a horseshoe and blooming red roses with thorns, he replied. We can look for the horseshoe tomorrow. We better get home for dinner. Erin sighed. I hope this works, Billy. I know, Billy said as they headed home. But remember what they told us. You have to believe. Oh, you're right. Erin almost forgot. Well, the following day, they set out for the farm. Surely we'll find a horseshoe here, said Billy. It was bright and early, and they knocked on Farmer John's door. A familiar face greeted them with a smile. Well, you two are up really early this morning. Why, I just came in from feeding the chickens. Is everything all right? Asked Farmer John. Oh, yes, sir. You see, we need your help. My help? Let me see, he thought. Would you like me to teach you how to ride a pony? No, sir, said Erin. Well, maybe another day, but today we just need a horseshoe. A horseshoe? Do you have a horse? No, not really, answered Billy. It's kind of complicated, and, well, I can do some chores next week for you to pay for the horseshoe. Farmer John looked confused. Then he responded, Follow me. Well, we'll look in the barn to see if I have any laying around. Billy and Erin looked at each other in anticipation as Farmer John led them off to the large red wooden building at the side of his house. So it's a horseshoe you're needing. Strange request this morning, but let me see. He looked up and down on each of the shelves, still wondering why they needed a horseshoe. Right here, he said. It's a little rusty, but is that all right? Look, Erin, Billy said excitedly. Farmer John, thank you so much. Erin jumped up and down. Farmer John frowned through his smile. He wasn't quite sure what they would do with one horseshoe. You know, if you're going to play a game, by tossing this, you really need more than one horseshoe. Oh, we're good, said Billy. How can I help you to pay for this? I'll tell you what, said Farmer John. If you're back here at 8 o'clock on Monday morning, I'll make a list of chores so that you can help me. I'll be here, said Billy. Thank you. And they ran off in search of the remaining items. Horseshoe in hand, they put their treasures into a bucket. Meet me after lunch at the carousel, Billy said. Okay, Erin called to him. Well, that afternoon, Erin cut a branch from the red rose bush, making sure that there were still blooms and thorns covering their stems. And they set out for the old abandoned building carrying their bucket. They couldn't wait to tell everyone what they had found. Hello, Billy called once they entered the building. We're back. The room was silent. Billy, I don't understand, Erin said. They did talk to us, right? We talked to them? I know we did. What happened? Maybe that's it, Erin. We can't doubt ourselves. We have to believe this all happened. Oh, you're right, she said, but what do we do now with all the things in our bucket? Come on, we can do this, Erin. Here, you hold the bucket, and I'm going to try to turn the crank on the carousel. So he handed Erin the black container as he crawled over to the center of the carousel once more. Erin stepped up onto the carousel, and she mounted the golden palomino. Slipping her arm through the curved metal handle of the bucket, she gripped the reins with both hands, and she hugged her heels into the sides of the pony. Billy tried with all his might to make the crank move, but it was rusted, and it seemed locked in position forever. Again he tried. "Erin, hand me the jar of water from the sea. Maybe if I pour some of it onto the crank, it will help loosen it." "Be careful, Billy. Don't use it all. We may need it." So he opened the jar and he cautiously poured some of the liquid onto the bolts. Grabbing hold of the lever once more, he pulled with all his might. This time the lever moved, and the gears in the center of the carousel, they began to hum as they turned, and suddenly loud music filled the air, and the dark building lit up with bright, blinking lights. The carousel began circling all around him, faster and faster, so fast that he could hardly keep his eyes on it. Erin held on tightly as she rested her head against the palomino's mane. She encircled the animal's neck so she wouldn't fall off. "Billy, everything's flying out of the bucket." "Hang on, Erin," he called as he mounted the blue stallion. "Just hang on." "You did it," said the unicorn. Well, Erin jumped in surprise as the carousel creaked, and suddenly the unicorn came unplugged from the platform. The carousel continued to speed up as the unicorn flew off the carousel and into the air. "I will never forget you, Erin and Billy," the unicorn called back to them. Thank you, thank you, thank you for showing us that our wishes can come true and helping us to believe again. You've just set me free. I can go back to Wim Meadow," said the unicorn. Just then, the zebra cried out, "Hey, look, guys, my stripes, they're colored. My wish came true." "It's a miracle," said the tiger, who suddenly looked surprised that he could now roar. "What's happening?" said the lion in shock. I seem to be able to whisper. Listen to my voice." "Look at me," squealed the pig. "I have wings and I can fly." Well, the sleek blue stallion looked up at the flying pig as he pranced around to check out his friends. "But I still look the same," he said in disappointment. So Billy dismounted the blue stallion. Suddenly, the blue stallion noticed his saddle. "Look, everyone, my saddle, it sparkles just like the golden palomino. Now children will like riding on me." The swan called out, "Hey, look at me. I glide up and down on this pole just like all of you." "Oh, I have to see this," said the giraffe. Oops, wait a minute. I should have been able to see from back here. Oh my neck is shorter. Look, everyone," said the giraffe. "Well, I hope my wish comes true," said the golden palomino. "Perhaps the children will ride on us once more." "Why, of course they will," the unicorn called back to them. "I want all your wishes to come true, for you have been a friend to me," said the unicorn, and in an instant she was gone. Suddenly they heard voices. "Billy, hide! We're going to get into trouble for being in here." Quickly, they hid behind a rusty old popcorn machine. "We need to clean out this building. I wonder what we should do with this old carousel," the man in the red hat said. "It probably hasn't run in years. Have you seen characters like that on a carousel anywhere?" The man in the blue hat removed his glasses and he shook his head in wonder. "Not me. Can't say as I have. This place used to be a museum until lightning struck it one night and damaged the carousel, he answered. Well, I guess we can just take it apart piece by piece and throw it away, the man in the blue hat said. Well, Erin couldn't stay hidden any longer. No, she says, you can't. It still works. Even she was surprised as the words came out of her mouth. Just turn the crank, you'll see. Try it, Billy chimed in. Well, they startled the two gentlemen. What are you two doing in here? We were just exploring, Erin explained. This building is not safe. It's very old. And why would you think that this carousel still runs? Asked the man in the red hat. He could tell they were a little upset. Well, Erin looked at Billy, and then Billy looked back at Erin as they both smiled, and together they said, because we believe it will run. Well then, let's just see if you're right. The man in the red hat climbed to the center of the carousel, knowing that the crank was probably rusted. Are you ready? So he positioned himself, thinking that he would have difficulty turning the crank. 1, 2, 3. And to his surprise, the music blared in his ears and the carousel began to spin like a top as the animals glided up and down on their golden poles. Wow, he was speechless. So Billy called out to Erin as he ran to jump on the lion. Erin smiled as she mounted the golden palomino. Now the carousel can go to the fair, right? Erin said. Well, I don't see why not, said the man in the red hat. Perhaps people will come from all around to see these strange-looking animals. Really? Billy said as a smile widened across his face. He looked at Erin. Billy, there will be children laughing and giggling on this carousel one more time, Erin called out. Both Erin and Billy somehow knew that this was what the golden palomino had wished and what all the animals had wanted. Do you think the unicorn would ever return? What do you think? Until next time, toodaloo.